This count gets better every time. we're trying to get our countdown to live a little better, and it needs some work. Hey everybody, it's Corey with CVMA. Welcome to our live class, our last mandated by the state of Pennsylvania to only be online live class. So as we discussed previously, we can, with the state going yellow on Friday, or this county going yellow on Friday, we are getting ready to gear up and open up in a limited capacity outside, starting on Monday. So this will be the last purely online class, except for if it rains during our class time. So the Monday, Wednesday classes will go outside, and they'll still be live. They'll still be online, but they will also be in person. We'll film them live as well, in case you can't make it out that day or still don't quite feel comfortable coming out yet. We'll have them out online here as well. We did post our video discussing sort of our plan. So please go take a look at that. Make sure you got all that info. We'll post the map as well on our Facebook page here very shortly. And the schedule, just in case we didn't cover it, 5 to 5:30. Sam, can you verify me on this? Sam, can you verify me on this?
Sorry.
Schedule 5 to 5:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays will be the Little Phoenix.
Yep.
And then there will be a 30-minute break in between the Little Phoenix class and the All Belts class, which will be from 6 to 7. So in different areas, yeah, Little Phoenix will be out in the front. All Belts will be in the backyard. And please try to arrive no more than 15 minutes early so that we can allow the parking lot to clear between classes without the intermix of folks, so that we can stay under the limits and stay good with the powers that be. Okay, that being said, I'm going to move on into the class because we covered most of that in the video. So today I'm going to piggyback off of Monday's class where we were talking about combinations, but in Monday's class we were talking about just mainly blocks. I'm going to try to expand that class and talk more about just techniques in general going up and down the floor, because it seems to be where people get tripped up, especially you guys making the transition from beginner to advanced. It seems to be where we have some trouble. So we're going to work on some mechanics that can help, keep your line, make sure that you don't get off balance while you're moving, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go over some of that today after we do our technique talks and all that good stuff. So, okay, with that being said, we'll go ahead and get rolling here. Won't need a partner today or anything. It'll just be some up and down the floor work to end out the week. So if you have a partner who wants to work out with us, bring them in anyway. All right, so we'll start from rest position. Together, yep. All right, let's go ahead and let's move around a second, get yourself warmed up. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Sam wanted me to mention that we've been doing these classes online. We've had folks on the page that are on the videos we can't account for. So if there's any prospective folks out there, or of any prospective folks that want to come in and try this, we are going to be putting out a summer special within the next few weeks. Oh, within the next 2 days. Not next few weeks. It'll be 2 days. Yeah, so it'll mimic some of our other specials, but it'll be a pretty good deal. So more information to come on that on Facebook if you know anybody who wants to try it out. A lot of activities that would normally keep them away have been canceled. So feel free to let them know about our special, and feel free to bring them in. Okay, let's go ahead and work our way at the body. So just go ahead and start rotating at the ankles. Work into the knees. All right, we'll work into the hips, feet shoulder width apart, hands to the hips, and just rotate. Okay, we'll work into the torso. Feet shoulder width apart, just rotate the torso. All right, into the shoulders, rotate the shoulders. All right, into the elbows. And into the wrists. And right, we'll work into the neck. So just stand straight, look to your left, look to your right, back to your left. Slow transitions. Back to the right. Back to neutral. Look high in the air. Look down toward the ground. High in the air. Down toward the ground. Back to center. Left ear to the left shoulder. And just half horseshoe, or half horseshoe, half circle. All right, and then to neutral, right ear to the right shoulder. And half circle. All right. Let's go ahead and take just a little extra time here since we're going to be doing some kicks and stuff like that to work into the legs. So just keep your, bring your feet together, keep your legs straight. Again, no hard stretch. We're not warm yet. And just hinge at the hips, nice and easy. Just go down toward the floor. And keep those knees straight for now. And bend the knees, release the tension in the legs. And straighten the knees. And bend the knees, release the tension. And straighten the knees one more time. And come back up. Can't remind me of that till afterward, man. All right, let's go. Spread your feet out, a little past shoulder width. Down to center. Guys behind the camera are trying to make me hungry. It's not good. All right, to the left. Just go left, right on your own for a second here. And let's just meet back in the center. Go ahead and wind the stretch slightly. Again, nothing crazy. Then center, left, right on your own. All right, we'll go ahead and come back up out of that. And we'll go ahead and get down for some calisthenics real quick. All right. So let's just roll through these real quick, just enough to get us warmed up. Normal stuff, 2 sets of 10 push-ups, any kind you want to do. I'm going to mix it up, start on my knuckles here today for the first 10. So 2 sets of 10, follow my count, pick your first set, go bring yourself up. Again, beginners, you can go to your knees if you want to, right? This works out just the same. Helps you get a little stronger, but again, don't tabletop, right? Just keep that 45 degree angle. You should have straight back basically, and you should be at about a 45 angle to the ground. Otherwise, if that isn't doing it for you, go ahead and just go up to your feet like normal. All right, and we'll do 10 from here. All right, hunt. Oh, set. That. Us. Yes. Oh. Yo. Up. Oh. All right, switch over to your next set. And we'll go 10 more. Huh? Oh. Set. Net. Yes. Yes. Oh. Yo. Up. Yo. All right. Now relax that. Then we'll move to our backs. Okay. Let's run through this, set of 20, whatever you want to do. We'll go set of 25, why not? Feeling an extra couple today. Pick whatever exercise you want to do. We'll go straight through 25. If you want to switch to something else halfway through, that's up to you. But again, we'll just go through one set of 25 here. All right, here we go. Huh? Oh. Set. Net. Us. Yes. Yo. Yo. Up. Yo. Huh. Yo. Set. Net. Us. Yes. Yo. Yo. Up. Yo. Hunt. Yo. Set. Net. Us. All right. Okay, so last class I talked about doing the front falls today. Front falls are, not that back falls and side falls aren't dangerous, but the front fall is pretty dangerous too, just because of the price if you're wrong. So this one's a little hard to do. Like we do with the back falls and the side falls, we can really take it easy. It's hard to do it with the front fall. So the way that I'll start with this, honestly, is up here. And all you're going to do, you're going to fall flat on your face. All right? So from here, you're just going to fall straight down and forward. All right? Now, you're not going to do what I did. Right? You don't want to reach out with your hands. That's how you're going to get hurt. A front fall has you land Forearms, not elbows. Forearms in front of the body, okay? Now you don't want to, I'm going to do this here so you can see. You don't want to fan your arms this way. You want 45 here. You also don't want to go too close inside, right? So you want about 45 in here, just something to let that energy disperse. Now, you can fall like this and this is okay, but you got to remember something. If you mess up and this doesn't stop you, what goes next? Your face into the ground. So what a lot of people teach is turn your head away. Doesn't matter which way, but turn your head. So if you do screw up, the side of your face hits the ground, not your nose. All right? So it's one thing to keep in mind. Now, you don't want to, notice I was doing it for teaching purposes, but notice how I was here. All right, my hips are on the ground. We don't want that. We want to lift hips up off the ground. We want to stay here. All right, because you don't want the rest of your body slamming into the ground either. All right, so kind of going to be like a half plank position almost. So the way that you can test this is to sit up like this on your knees. And again, if you're doing it from your knees, you don't necessarily need to go up on your toes, but you can, you should. But the big key is none of your upper body should be on the ground, just your forearms. So you can fall forward from sitting high and land here. But notice how my upper body's off the ground. You can see why this one's a little more dangerous. If I was a beginner, I would almost recommend, well, I would almost recommend just kind of going from here maybe and just kind of nice and slowly dropping down to the ground, maybe just one arm at a time, and setting up to here if you wanted to. You can try to go from here to here, but it's a different feel. It's a different mechanic. So just best suggestion, try it on like a bed or something that you're not going to break your face on. It's my best suggestion to you is try it on a bed, try it on something soft. Don't let your arms collapse either. Don't let them come into your body. They got to stay framed. All right, so, and don't lead with your elbows because you'll know when you hit something hard. All right. Now, what do you do with your hands as you're falling? Well, you can just keep them here, but then they have a tendency to want to fall in. What I've seen a lot of people do on this is they'll rotate. They'll come out to in with it, almost like they're attacking the ground this way. You can't think about attacking the ground. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it's one way to think about it. So when you're falling, you can bring the arms outside so that you don't kind of just tuck them in. So you can start falling this way out to here, right? If you wanted to. So that's your forward fall. We got to learn how to get up, and getting up's a little bit different. So as we fall from here, fall forward, exhale when you hit the ground, by the way. So we fall to here. Now, what we want to do is control ourselves to the ground, right? We want to stop ourselves, then control, because we don't just want to smash into the ground. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think like a push-up. So I'm going to draw my hands back to where they would go normally for push-up. I'm going to roll my toes underneath me. I'm going to do a push-up. So I'm going to push myself up off the ground. And now what I'm going to do is jump forward, bringing my feet outside of my hands here. Or my knees, well, knees outside my hands. So my feet and my hands are kind of in line, but my knees are outside my elbows. That's important. You don't want to go knees inside because you're collapsible. Knees outside the elbows. Now, I'm looking up. I can see my opponent. I can see my attacker from here. And I'm centered and balanced here. Right? I'm stable here. What you don't want to do is jump up to where you end up here because you can't get up. You got to push yourself backwards. Right? And that's predictable. So you got to get those feet all the way up to where you're secure here. Because I can go in multiple directions if I need to. But now you're going to stand yourself up and shoot away. All right? So that's a technical stand up from on your stomach. So again, we're low to the ground. Hands are in a push-up position. Toes are curled underneath. I'm going to push up and jump my feet up. Again, I'm secure and balanced here. Stand up, press away, or shoot away. All right? So why don't you give those a few tries here while we're before we get into everything else. So if you want to take it from the fall, you can follow me. Or do it on your own. So we're going to stand up here. We're going to bring the hands to the outside. Fall, land, look away so you're not smacking your head off the ground. Lower yourself to the ground. Bring your hands in, feet underneath, toes underneath. Push up. Bring the feet in. Stand up. Press back. All right, let's try one more time. We're kneeling position. Move, fall forward. Okay, lower yourself. Bring those hands in, feet underneath. Push up, slide the feet in. Stand up, press back. All right. So that's your technical stand up from a front fall. Now, front fall is dangerous just because of you can't really make a mistake and not hurt yourself. But what are the mistakes? The mistakes are you go to fall and you fall like this. Obviously, that's going to hurt you. Even that little fall didn't feel great on my wrist. Or if you fall here with your elbows first. And then the obvious mistake would be if you don't cover yourself at all and you smack your face off the ground. That'll let you know you did it wrong too. All right, let's get a stand up. Okay, so let's talk about. Oh, I had your hand raised. Yes, Mr. Owen. Let's talk about going up and down the floor. Now, on Monday, we talked about blocks up and down the floor. We talked about stance transitions, all that kind of stuff. We're going to do kind of the same thing today, but we're going to work techniques into it. Now, what I want to touch on is the transition from move to move. Because again, it's one of those things that seems like, oh, I know how to do that. But do you know how to do it that you can move quickly, efficiently, and not fall over while you're doing it? Right? So there's pieces to it. So I'm going to cover two different techniques for my beginner and advanced conversation. And I'm going to kind of use, well, the advanced technique that I'm going to do is going to be a big part of this drill. And then the beginner technique is actually going to cover one of the techniques from yesterday that we didn't really talk about a whole lot, but we did a good bit of. All right, so let's start with the beginner technique. The beginner technique is going to be the inside forearm block, inside forearm block. Now I'm trying to get drills in my head too. Now I'm going to start saying all kinds of different things. All right, inside forearm block, usually thrown from a back stance, although it can be thrown from pretty much any stance you have. The inside forearm block is same arm, same leg. So if I have the right side out, my right arm is going to do the block. If I have my left side out, my left hand is going to do the block. All right. So the lead hand, the hand that's going to be blocking, comes across the body. What? I'm doing the wrong one. Oh, he's got it. Okay. So the lead hand is going to come underneath. The rear hand is going to come up top. Now notice the direction of my palms. Or palm down, palm down. You can do palm in, but I prefer palm down because you really get a twist out of it. So we're here. Now, the way I usually tell people, the way I teach in the beginning is give yourself a hug. Bring your arm out. That's great. Problem is, you don't want to wrap your hands. You want them to be straight out. Okay? So I'm going to, from here, I'm going to keep the arm straight, slide underneath, pass the arm, and up. Again, about eye level. Shoulder level, or shoulder, don't pass the shoulder. Never come out to here, right? Always at the shoulder line. I don't care what happens out here. I don't need to block anything out here. So I end here. So underneath, arms are going to meet each other almost as they cross. This hand's going to pull straight back. Lead hand goes out for block. All right. So I'll show you the other side so the other camera can catch too. Lead hand, cross, rear hand across, going forward. Lead hand slides underneath. Rear hand pulls back. Lead hand stops again about eye level, shoulder line no further. Right? As you're stepping into this, we know the back stance meets in the middle and then continues, right? Just for demonstration purposes, it just goes the whole way up in one motion. But if I would pause in the middle, I'd be here, right? That's my transition. Here, right? So just, again, transition is going to become important. This way you're not trying to figure out what hand's doing what. It moves while you step. Okay. The advanced technique is going to be sort of a choose your own technique, but it's going to be a spinning technique, all right? Or spinning punch or spinning kick, but I'm going to talk about the spin. And advanced students, I know you know what the difference between a spin and a step is. That's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about how to keep online, when to throw, when not to throw, right? So let's say we're doing a back fist to start with, spinning back fist. Well, we know spinning back fist comes from here. We turn, head gets around. We start with the back fist this way. Now, what I don't want to do is start my back fist now. Oh, halfway out here, I'm just going to basically swing my arm around, which isn't going to help anybody. On every spinning technique, and this goes for kicks, punches, whatever, you don't start the technique until you're already almost facing around the other way, right? On a kick, you're going to chamber, right? So you're going to chamber, but you're not going to throw anything just yet. The legs are going to come up, but that's it. So on the spinning back fist, I'm going to come from here. I'm going to turn, but again, and I can see my target, but I'm not throwing this yet. It's only till my hip starts firing that I throw the technique. Same goes with a kick. If I'm doing a spinning back kick, for example, I'm going to turn, I'm going to chamber here, but it's not till I get to about here that the kick starts coming out, because think about where your target is. Target's in front of you. You don't want to waste energy going that way. You want all the energy going forward. So as I turn, now I'm going to dip the hip and fire the kick, but not till I'm around, right? So here I'm going to chamber, I'm going to throw the kick from there as it's going straight out this way. But I didn't start it. I don't even know if I can do this. I didn't start it way back here. I didn't start throwing the kick now and then coming around and trying to throw. For a side kick, it doesn't make sense. For a hook kick, you might think, well, I want to start it early. But you really don't. You don't want to try to start a hook kick. I don't even know if I can do this. I've tried this before, and it's rough. You don't want to start your hook kick out here and then just start turning. That's way too much work. If I'm doing a hook kick, tight chamber, now it starts here. It goes out to the side and then continues around with the hip, right? So as I'm going to fire this kick, it starts there and it comes around. All right? So the last thing you want to do is start your kicks or your punches too early. That's a big thing about those when you're doing kicks up and down the floor, you don't have a bag to stop you or support your balance. So they have to be right on line. We're going to work on that today too. Okay, so let's start talking about up and down the floor. So we're going to start out, we talked about transition from back stance to front stance to back stance, etc., right? So we're going to take and move away from, front stance to front stance, or front stance to back stance. We're going to start talking about fighting stances and putting techniques in the middle of this. So the first thing we got to learn is how to go from fighting stance to, say, front stance. And this I'm going to take right out of a sequence, right? So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to explain it, and then I want you to start trying it, all right? So it's going to be you're going to step out, left leg, forward, fighting stance, jab, and then a step, straight punch, front stance, right? So you're going to step out. I'll start left leg, fighting stance, jab, step, front stance, straight punch, okay? Dead simple. Try it. As you're trying it, I'll talk through it. So, we'll come from starting position. We'll step out, jab, step, straight punch. That should look really familiar, right? Step out, jab, straight punch. Now notice what's happening here. I'm going from a narrower fighting stance to a front stance. So you've got to step offline. You can't just go jab, straight punch. It's not the front stance you're looking for. You got to go normal width on the front stance, right? Shoulder distance. A fighting stance is not shoulder distance. So step out, fighting stance, you throw your jab. Your line is here. You're going to step off your line to do your step, straight punch. If you were told to continue and not repeat, like we talked about last week, or Monday, you would step and come to here. So you'd start veering off to the open side of the body, to the inside of the body. If you were told to repeat, you'd actually probably stay right on. Because you'd come 1, 2, you'd slide the foot 1, 2, slide the foot 1, 2. So you'd actually stay on line. Depends on what you're doing, right? So, all right, you can stop with that. Now, let's go fight to front to fight, all right? So we're going to go jab, step, straight punch, then we're going to slide back in and jab one more time, all right? So now you're going from fighting stance, step front stance, step fighting stance, all right? Give that a try. So we'll start from here. We're going to step out, jab, step punch, step jab. I don't know why I keep going back so far. I forgot to get the wide angle lens on today. Step out, jab, step straight punch, step jab. Again, you're following that offline mantra here. Now, go ahead and stop that. So, you can see how I got to go from narrow to wide stance to narrow stance. Now, you're going to have to do the same thing, but you're going to have to do it from a technique. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to do fighting stance. We're going to do a jab, reverse punch, in place, rear leg snap kick, then you're going to end in a front stance. All right? So, it's going to be a jab, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, land front stance. So, try it. So we're jab, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, land front stance. Jab, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, land front stance. Notice that, and keep going, but notice that you have to go front snap kick, and then you got to go off to the side. You got to land, you got to bring that leg out. So you can't just throw the kick and then just put the foot down, right? You got to rechamber, recover, and move the foot to the right place. 1, 2, recover, move the foot out to the right place. That seems simple, and it is simple, but that's a big mechanic that you're going to use all throughout forms. Use it a lot. Up and down the floor, use it a lot. All right, you can stop with that for a second. Now, we're going to go, let's go, we're going to go jab, reverse, rear leg front snap kick, land fighting stance, land front stance. And then we'll go jab, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, land fighting stance. So we're going to mix the two. We're going to go backwards. So one more time. We're going to go fighting stance, jab, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, land front stance. Then in place, we're going to go jab, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, land fighting stance. All right? So this is another one that just takes the same thing we were doing and reverses it. All right? So try that. So as you're trying it, I'll walk through it again. So jab, cross, rear leg front snap kick, land front stance. Jab, or straight punch, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, land fighting stance. All right? Try again. Fighting stance, jab, cross, rear leg front snap kick, land front stance, straight punch, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, fighting stance. Okay, you stop that. Notice the change in your stance is tied to that front snap kick at the end of the day for these drills, right? So 1, 2, here, now I'm changing stance. Now, front punch, rear punch, snap kick, now I'm back in my fighting stance, right? So what'll help if you're having trouble remembering what comes next is you change stance on the snap kicks, right? So that'll help you kind of find your line where you change stances at. It also tells you when to move because you move with the snap kicks. Okay, so we've touched on the topic of kicking and landing in a different position. And we've touched on it in two stances, right? We went from fighting stance to front stance and front stance to fighting stance. So you should have learned a couple things or noticed a couple things. One is your snap kick comes directly up the center no matter what stance you're in. So just because you're in a front stance doesn't mean you kick wide, right? It's still directly in front of you. So you still have to shift that weight and bring the foot right up to the center, or through the center of the body. Additionally, there's a balance shift going from front stance to another, or from front stance to fighting stance or fighting stance to front stance, whether you're just stepping or whether you're throwing a kick, right? So when we were here, if we're going to just step forward into a front stance, there's still a balance shift. I need to get over to that leg to move this back leg, right? I can't move it if it's got weight on it. If I'm in a front stance and I want to go to a fighting stance, I need to then commit the rest of the weight over to this front leg so I can slide the back foot up. So there's always a balance shift on a stance movement, whether or not you have a kick or something else in there or you're just stepping. Okay, so now let's talk about the spinning techniques. We're going to start off just talking about the spin. So we're going to go back fist, let's go back fist, spinning back fist. Let's start with simple. All right? So back fist, spinning back fist. So this is a good indicator to whether or not you're spinning too far, you're letting your body continue, or you're stopping short. Look in front of you and pick a spot. And maybe it's something on this wall behind me because you're looking at your TV. Or maybe it's something on your wall or something, right? Mine is the camera because it's there and it's in the middle and it's what I'm attacking at this point. So when I do my first back fist, I'm hitting the camera. Now, when I spin and do my other back fist, I should also hit the camera. If I find myself not hitting the camera, I hit a different camera. In that case, I didn't continue far enough, right? This foot didn't make it to where it was supposed to go. But if I find that I hit something to the left of my camera, then I overturned too far. And I didn't compensate my angle here. So this is a good opportunity to find out how your spin works, all right? So try it. Back fist, spinning back fist. All right? As you're going through this, take your time. 1, 2. Ask yourself, are you getting your head around? Can you see what you're hitting, or are you just throwing blind? Right? Am I coming here and just throwing blind? Or can I actually see what's going on? Right? I saw the target before I hit it. Right? I don't have to be staring at it before I hit it. It could be, here. I can see the target. I don't necessarily have to be turned fully looking at you, but I can see it before I hit it. That's good, too, if you want to keep your head away from the attack. Like, if you know they're coming up on top of you, you may not want to go up here. You may want to stay back here and fire. I fought with some black belts back in the day that used to use this a lot. Huh? So I've got hit with a few of these where, there's kickers that you think you got them. They're shying away, they're shying away, they're shying away, but they just turn around and clock you from behind. It's pretty interesting, and it works real well. Okay, so you stop that. Now let's add the kick in on there. All right. So now instead of doing a spinning back fist, we're going to do back fist, spinning back kick. Now, the big key to this is stay on your line. So that back fist hits on the line. That kick should also hit on the line. If your back fist hits on line and your kick is way over there, you're not turning enough. Or if you're hitting with your toes on the line, you're going too far, right? So use this time to dial it in. Back fist, spinning back kick. Try that once. Might switch legs, you start getting dizzy, like me. Okay, keep going on that for a second, and let me just talk about, so look at the foot, right? That foot's got to go from here to there, right? It's got to pivot. You'll break that thing in half if you think you're going to throw a back kick from here. It's just not going to work. So when do you turn the foot? Do you turn it when you're kicking? Maybe. But think about what you're doing with that back fist. Look at my hand, look at my hand, look at my hand. Make it easy on yourself. You throw that back fist, turn that foot early. If you want to. You can sneak it in there, right? So I can come up here, now it's turned. And by the time they resettle in, I've already got the kick out. It also can help because it can make you look vulnerable. You can come here, oh no, right? Now, you gotta be careful in sparring because they'll call it showing your back because your back's not a legal target. So in sparring, you gotta be careful. You can't just go, right? Because they will call you on that. Because that's unfair because they can't hit you in the back. So you're showing an invalid target. In defense, you got to be careful. You don't want to go like this because you can't see them anymore. Right? So you want, I can still see you. My foot's turned. Now I'm going to come out right away with the kick. And it doesn't take very long. You don't sit there and wait, right? But you start here. It's like when I'm drawing this back, I'm turning that foot to kick. So, an option. Okay, so now we're going to try the spin with a couple different techniques. So now we're going to go, make sure you got some room for this one. Step behind side kick, spinning back side kick, right? So it's going to be step behind side kick, set the foot, spinning back side kick. Now, on this, again, stay on that line. Try not to veer off of it. So don't start your kick here and then go kick way over here, right? See how I kind of moved off my line. That's the majority of what we see when you go up and down the floor. If I drew a line here, or if I was on a line, we have these wonderful lines here. With the wide angle lens, I could go over there, but I'm going to pick this one, right? If I'm going to do a step behind side kick, I'm on this line still. When I kick again, I want to remain on that line, right? So give that a shot. Ron's like, yes. See? So we see a lot of this when you guys are going up and down the floor, so this is a mechanic to work on. So try it. Step behind side kick, spinning back side kick, right? Step behind side kick, spinning back side kick. Step behind side kick, spinning back side kick. Now, I want you to try, advanced students, and keep going, but I want you to try to go one right after the other. So you're going to go step behind side kick, spinning back kick. If you're having trouble, put the foot down and slow it down. Go step behind side kick, set yourself, spinning back kick, set yourself. See how you did. All right? Try a couple more times and try to put them all together. So step behind side kick, right away into the next kick. And I'm going to explain how the foot placement works here in a second. So go finish it out. Finish one or two more here. Okay, so watch my foot placement. Step behind side kick. If I wasn't going to do anything else, what I would likely do is kick and return it to a fighting stance, right? But I'm doing something else. So I'm going to slow down my step behind side kick, or I'm going to slow down my follow-up kick if I take my foot and put it back to a fighting stance. Because now it's got to go this way. Or it's got to turn on that line. But on a fighting stance, I'd be off the line. So what I've got to do is I've got to control this foot when it lands. I got to know where it's going to land. What I like to do is I like to go kick, and I like to bring it back to where my foot was, where my other foot is. And we've talked about this before, right? Side kick landing here, you're going to advance. Side kick landing here, same spot. Side kick landing here, you're going to lose distance, right? So you get to choose that, but that's what's going to keep you on this line by controlling this foot. So what I like to do is come out, step behind the side kick, bring it right back, put it on the line. Now I'm back on the line, right? So try it again and see if that helps if you're having trouble. And again, play with that, check your balances and everything. If you're coming out here and going, are you having trouble transitioning here, where you can then stay on this foot? Are you maybe leaning over too far here and throwing yourself forward? Are you possibly committing too much weight to this right away and not giving yourself time to create that sort of, I don't know what they call that, fulcrum, maybe? Maybe that's not the right word. That peg in the ground, basically. You're not creating that straight line. Maybe you're a little too far off in one direction. Could be a reason that you're having trouble with that if you're having a balance issue there. So, okay. Need to stop that for a second. Now, I'm going to make it a little harder on you. Now you have to go spinning hook kick, step behind side kick. All on your line. Now think about the mechanic behind this. You have to go spinning hook kick from on the line, spinning hook kick, step behind side kick. All on the line. Now this takes a lot of control because you have to control the hook kick after the kick is over. Right? In football, officiating, there's a big rule. A kick is a kick is a kick until it's over. Right? So if the guy kicks and he doesn't catch it, it's still a kick. Because certain rules apply when you kick. This kick is a kick until it's on the ground. So you have to control this thing. The kick doesn't end when it hits your target. The kick ends when your foot's back on the ground. So you have to control the entire kick, not just when it hits your opponent. That means when you do your kick, you can't just give up on it afterward. You can't just go here and let your foot kind of fall. Because now you've lost control of everything after the fact. You can't follow up. So you've got to be able to throw this kick, control it, and reset. And if you can't do that, you won't be able to follow up. That kick will just be a throwaway kick. And you'll be completely vulnerable after the kick is done. All right? So, again, spinning hook kick, step behind, side kick. All right? Try it. There's a little bit of a bump there. I've caught it 2 or 3 times now. Now, keep going, but understand recovery, right? Recovery has to be, you have to be able to recover whether you do the kick right or do the kick wrong, right? So, wrong, right? Yeah. Anyway, imagine if you threw the kick and you want your foot to come down right there, but it doesn't, it goes further. So maybe you get it all the way to here. Well, you still have to recover appropriately. A mistake does not end your techniques. You need to recover. Again, your techniques aren't done until they're done. So if you get in the habit of coming here and going, oh man, if you do that in combat, you're not going to have that instinct to recover. You're just going to have a second of, oh man, that's when you're going to get hit. You have to recover from a mistake, regardless of the situation. So if I come here, I got another kick to do. All right, well here, I got to start over. But you always recover. Right? We talk about it in defense. We talk about clearing, right? We talked about it on our defense class. Don't be this close and just stop. Right? All right, keep going with that drill. Keep trying it. Get back to it myself. Okay, so you can stop that. Now, take a catalog. What didn't go right? Did everything go right? It went perfect? You had no problems? I don't know. I didn't see you, but if it's all perfect, I question it because nobody's ever perfect. What didn't go right? What can you fix? What can you adjust? What didn't feel right? Even if it looked 100% correct, you might go, boy, something just didn't feel right there. I'll tell you one thing that I didn't like about mine. When I was pivoting, I felt my toes gripping into the ground. I don't like that necessarily because it stops my spin. I don't know why I was gripping today. But I felt my, ring toe. I don't know if that's a thing. But my second to last and last toe gripping into the ground. Hey, ring finger, ring toe. Shut up over there. Ring finger, ring. I felt them gripping into the ground, and it changed the way I pivoted. It's just on me. So, but stuff like that, even if it looks fine, there could be things that you yourself knew, well, that didn't go right for me. All right. So now, since it's toward the end, we're going to really mess with your minds, and we're going to throw all that stuff together. All right? So we're going to go fighting stance. Yeah, what the heck? Let's do it. Let's have some fun. We're going to go jab, reverse punch, rear leg, snap kick to that front stance, straight punch, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, fighting stance, step behind side kick, spinning back kick. Uh-oh. I forget how many moves it is, like 10. We're just taking the two that we did and we're combining them, right? That's all we're doing. So, again, fighting stance, jab, reverse punch, rear leg snap kick, go to front stance, straight punch, reverse punch, rear leg snap kick, go to fighting stance, step behind side kick, spinning back. Okay? Do it. Do it. I'll walk through it with you if you want to walk through it with me. Fighting stance, jab, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, front stance, excuse me. Straight punch, reverse punch, rear leg front snap kick, fighting stance, step behind side kick, spinning back kick. Recover. Keep going. Try again. Fighting stance, jab, reverse punch, rear leg, front snap kick, front stance. Say it every time. Straight punch, reverse punch, rear leg, snap kick, fighting stance, step behind side kick, spinning back side kick. Recover. Okay. Do it one more time without me. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to not say it out loud. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 moves. Not 10. You guys are fine. All right. So that in a nutshell is different patterns you'll see down the floor. Now, it may not be jab, reverse, rear leg front snap kick. It might be hook punch, reverse punch, rear leg axe kick, front stance. Maybe. It could be something completely different. But the mechanic of transitioning from fighting stance to front stance in a kick, or going from a front leg kick to a spinning kick, these are the pieces to the puzzle that is going up and down the floor. So if you're able to make sense of how to do those little pieces, it'll make more sense when you're going up and down the floor in class how to do them and tie them into the different techniques that you're using. Right? It's kind of like, I'm not giving you the answers, but I'm giving you parts of the answers. And I'm letting you kind of jumble them together and put them where you think they should be. Right? We used to talk about I had teachers in high school that always talked about like the toolbox. You just put another tool in the toolbox. All of a sudden you have this big box of freaking toolbox. I don't know. It's their method, their metaphor. I don't like it because I think it's kind of goofy, but it makes sense, right? I'm giving you pieces. You're going to put them together. You're going to have to be the one to put them together when you go up and down the floor. But it's not enough to know them here. Your body has to be able to do it too. So you got to just repeat it over and over again until it's within your muscle memory, right? That's what we're trying to gain here. So make up some drills on your own that use those different techniques, use those different concepts, and then see if you can make them happen in all different scenarios. Try going from a back stance to a front stance, or try going from a back stance to a fighting stance with a kick, or try to go from a back stance to a spinning technique, right? All these different little things you can do to try to make these transitions easier. Transitions are what matter. Other than that, you know how to throw the technique, but you got to be able to transition in a way that you're going to be able to throw it with balance, with control. All right, so appreciate everybody joining us today. Hopefully on Monday, we'll be outside and you guys will all be here and we'll all hang out together 6 feet apart. Actually, yeah, it would be 12 feet apart the way we have it laid out. But we'll all be here, all following social distance guidance and masks and all that kind of stuff, and we'll all be good to go. So please go watch that video. Yeah, and that'll be in that video too. Ron was saying about bringing water and sunscreen and that kind of stuff. You'll be outside for a good hour and a half. So, but please go watch that video. The link to it is on our Facebook page. If you don't have Facebook, you're already on YouTube. Go to our channel. It's in the list of videos. It should be like pretty high up on the list because it was just published. If you have questions, call, text, Facebook Messenger, YouTube comments, snail mail. Fire smoke signals, throw paper airplanes at us till we get them. It doesn't really matter. Just get your questions to us. We'll answer everything we can. All right. But if you're comfortable coming out, please come out and see us. We'll be super excited to see everybody. We're definitely looking forward to it, and it'll be Monday and Wednesday until we can go green. So, but Monday, Wednesday outside. 5 to 5:30 for the Little Phoenix, 6 to 7 for the All Belts class. Please don't come more than 15 minutes early so that we can keep the parking lots cleared for each class. So we'll go from there. Yeah, that's the other thing is the social distancing guidelines don't just count when class is in session. So we're going to when you're here, we're going to walk you into the area and we're going to put you on a spot. And you can warm up on your spot, but you really aren't going to be able to run around a whole lot or anything because we've got to maintain that guidance and keep control of everybody. So the earlier you get here, the more time you're going to spend in that one spot. It's just something to think about. It is what it is. I don't like it either, but it's how the state wants things done. So we have to follow that to ensure everyone's safety. So I love that ringtone. All right, so that being said, I hope to see everybody Monday. We're super excited to get back to work outside, to get back to work in person. But please go watch that video and let us know if you have any questions. But appreciate everybody joining us today. I'm Corey with CVMA. We'll see you next time.